sir. The Thirsty Thursday special, boys and girls. It's Commitment Eve. No Santa Claus suit for this Christmas Eve party, but got a lot to talk about. Some commitments happening over the next few days. Where does Florida stand? Are we going to get fireworks? Is it going to be electric? Yes, to everything, all of the above. As it should be. As recruiting, it should be the most stressful. It should put years on our lives, and it has for me. And we're going to talk all about it today. And then some new rules have rolled out in regards to the NIL, which I'm ecstatic for. We're going to break it down for the dummies, sports for dummies for you guys, so we can understand it, so I can understand it, so I can digest it, and maybe we can talk about it some more. But I think that it is the best move we've seen thus far to moving in the right direction. But before we get into that, let's introduce special guest for the evening, newly married, on the blacklist that you have. I'm just kidding. What's going on, big dog?
What's up? Good to be here, big guy.
Good to see you, man. I was worried, man. Last time we love your articles. You do a fantastic job. I thought you were gone. I thought that your article was deleted. I go, we may never hear from Dylan again, but you're good. All is well.
Thankfully, I'm still here. We'll see if I get into any more trouble, but planning not to, of course.
Every time you post an article, I go, woo. What's going on? I love that you continue to fire away at it, man. I think you're doing a phenomenal job. You know, I'm a big fan. I don't know where you started or where you did your internship, but those guys must have done you well. So
I started from the best. I started up. It's been down since, but I started up.
Your new boss kind of sucks, from what I've heard.
Oh, yeah. Listen, the reason I'm getting in trouble all the time is Cam Parker. If you guys didn't know, so I just wanted to put that out there.
Oh, I love it. I love getting you guys back on separate times to talk about it. Man, well, let's dive right into it. Obviously, we know that we've got some commitments coming up here in the next 2 days. 3 commitments that are up for grabs. One being KJ Ford, that Florida has been crystal ball for. Another being Hez Kent. It was a 4-star tackle today. The guy's been a tight end the whole time, but now he's a tackle. He's an athlete, I know. And the third being DQ Forkba, which was also crystal ball for Florida, which is being whispered could be in trouble too. But we're going to talk with you today about the edge, which we have not had success with up until this point with Trenton Henderson and Drake Kroll, and now KJ Ford, who was crystal ball for Florida just a few days ago. I was like, look, 5 days, that should be good. Nothing bad can happen in between that. Boy, was I wrong. Talk to us, big guy. What's happening? What are you hearing? What's the buzz?
Yeah, so I mean, this one, I think it's going to go back and forth to the wire, if we're being honest here. I know that Florida felt very comfortable this whole week. I think they still feel very comfortable. But, I mean, as you see, Bama's making a push. I think Ohio State's been trying to make a push. I don't think they've been making up ground as much as Bama might have recently. So I really think it's coming down to Bama UF. I think it'll be back and forth till the end. And we'll see Friday. Fingers crossed.
Shaping up to be an awesome recruiting battle. Again, and here's the thing. Fong which Fong bombs never make you feel any good because those come with a hammer. That's settled. But the Florida boys, the Benders, the Aldermans, I believe they're 10 toes down. They're sticking with their RPMs towards Florida still. They're like, yeah, there's a lot of buzz, but Florida's, insiders, they still feel very confident with the conversations they've had and who they've talked to alongside the Bama insiders. So somebody's being lied to. And look, I love it. I love how it's back and forth and that we've got 2 crystal balls out there. I just would like to be on the right side of history one time,
Yeah, well, I do think that this is a must-get for Florida at this point. I mean, you mentioned it. We missed out on Kroll, Trenton Henderson. We all saw how that situation, turned out. So really the edge board is kind of dwindling, and KJ Ford's kind of the last guy there. So I mean, Bama is making that push, but from what I've heard, Florida feels very confident still. And I think they're going to do, whatever it takes to get them. So we'll see how that goes.
I don't understand. I mean, again, outside of an NIL offer perspective, I could, if we're not paying up, that part, I mean, I don't understand, but I get losing out. At the same time, I don't understand why we wouldn't pay because we've lost on our other targets. Like at some point, the market value is what it is. Just put up and shut up. And also, just the development. Think about the room that's being talked about in Tyreek Sapp and George Gums and Kofi Asire and like what we're hearing. And let's just minus what we're hearing. The fact of the value of what Tyreek Sapp has, if he right now he's projected to go first round, top 10 first round in the NFL, right? I mean, that speaks volumes to what that edge room is doing. George Gums basically resurfaced his career. You've got Cameron James and Jack Pyburn that were able to leave and get, basically starter money because of the production they were able to have at Florida. Why are we having so much trouble landing these guys? I mean, the proof is in the pudding at this point.
Yeah, I mean, that's the crazy world of recruiting. You know what I mean? Like, it's such a different world nowadays. I mean, you saw it with Trent Henderson. I'm not going to get too far into that, obviously. I got a little too deep already there. But you saw it with him. Now we're seeing it a little with Ford. I think, it's about relationships. And I think UF and Bama have a great relationship with them. And then comes the NIL component of the thing. But I do think that in that regard, it kind of makes Florida more confident, because if it's really just coming down to the money, then, at the end of the day, he's the last guy you got to go get. You might as well just go get him, like you said.
Yeah, you got to put the bag in, because right now we're looking at 2 interior defensive linemen with Jarayla McCoy and Kendall Gervil. I've heard some grumblings on a possible another addition. We won't get into that too much details, but if you look at it, I was thinking, well, maybe, I try to spin it, look half full. Jarayla McCoy is 6'6", 245. If we're being honest, that guy's not playing inside. So we've seen it with other guys. Kelby Collins switched outside. LJ McCray originally was being recruited as an interior defensive lineman, and then ultimately switched. The edge position was what came at the end, but it started off as an interior defensive lineman. So Jarayla McCoy really, 6'6", 245, he's going to get torched unless he puts on about 30 pounds. So 40 pounds, honestly. I could really see him moving to the outside, and that could be your potential edge guy as well. That's something to think about. I know that doesn't make you feel good. I think I would like to go get another defensive lineman and add KJ Ford with Jarayla McCoy and really kind of have my cake and eat it too. I think that's where I would feel a lot better with. But Bama, what concerns me is they've gotten everybody they've touched so far. If they've wanted somebody, they've landed them, and that's what concerns me at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. And the relationship with Ford has been building for a while. I think at the start of his recruitment, Bama was kind of seen as the leader.
Yeah.
They had him on campus probably 3 or 4 times from, the start of, or recently, as you know. But I think the relationship there was pretty solid. And then it was kind of a surprise when he wasn't in his top 3. So I think it's out of left field for sure. But if you've been following along, it's not that crazy. It's not one of those things where, even like when Syracuse came out of nowhere for Calvin Russell, it's not something like that.
There was some buzz for the Calvin Russell to Syracuse, but yes, it was still from the clouds when it happened for sure. Because Michigan, I think, felt very confident where they stood in that recruit. Look, I love that. I think that's how recruiting should be. Crystal balls are fun because it gives us conversation. What I believe it's a great marketing tactic because it creates. You're basically getting told twice the same thing. Like, that's what they're doing here. It's great work. But I like the aspect of showing up to the commitment day when there's 3 hats on the table and you clearly genuinely don't know who it is. We felt like that with Malik Morris. There was some buzz, kind of very similar, right? Where there was some possible noise that somebody else was in the mix. Now, I will say that when the watch party started and I saw the LeVar hat, that it was pretty much a lock. You don't have a $90 hat as a suggestion piece. But I do like that there was a little bit of, it wasn't fun, but it was fun at the same time. So tomorrow should make out for some interesting points. What time does he commit? Do we know?
I have not seen yet. I'm guessing midday, but I have not seen anything about it.
Okay, because that's gonna have to be a much watch party if we're able to make that happen. I do want to any thoughts or any opinion on the DQ Forkpa news, the linebacker? Anything on that?
Yeah, I was going to mention, it's going to be a very interesting week for the Gators. DQ, we've been leading for him for a while, and I think he's a very talented football player. But, Michigan's coming out of the woodwork a little there too. And FSU's still in the race, is from what I'm hearing. So that's going to be coming down to the wire as well. I still like Florida, but we'll have to see with that one as well.
Again, 2 rooms that make 0 sense to me on how we're having trouble. I feel like this past linebacker room is phenomenal. We heard Dorian say, we talked about it on our show, has the potential to be the best in the SEC or one of the best in the SEC. And look, I think there is some frustrations. It's like, how are we losing these battles, especially if we lose at FSU? I mean, there's going to be some upward. Like, how are you losing to a 2-10 football team right now? What's going on? What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, recruiting, you know what I mean? It's a crazy thing. I'm one of those guys that, it's, you know, right now anything can happen. Once we get into season, we'll wait and see with that stuff. I think we spin the block on a lot of these kids, even if you don't get, even someone like Jay Cruel, you are not even in his top 3. I don't think that recruitment's over. I think Florida
Agreed.
is still very much in it. So, a lot of this stuff is just right now, FSU is on a tear, which is kind of insane to me considering they just went 2-10. So it's a lot in the offseason. Everyone looks great in the offseason. And then comes season and comes when the recruits start seeing who was lying and who was telling the truth. So I think we'll see a little shift from season. If we do, I still think we end up with DQ, and Ford, but we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, look, I think FSU, what they did do a good job of is flipping over their coaching staff. So in a way, when Auburn first came onto the scene with Hugh Freeze, when they were on that hot recruiting trail, they were able to sell hope and a new dream. And FSU's able to pitch that a little bit. And look, even though Norvell is essentially on the hot seat, how hot is his seat really? Because that buyout is ridiculous. So they've got to be bought in. They can't cut him short and be able to have some success behind him. So I think Malzone being there plays a factor. And to be honest, you kind of have a fallback plan with Gus there. If you do let go of Norvell, you're probably one of the top teams in the country of having a backup guy, if you will, as a head coach that can kind of pick up where things were left off. So that's a good place. I know you guys don't really do this on Sports Illustrated, but your own RPM, your percentages on those two guys, and then, of course, Kent, who I'm going to talk about here in just a minute.
Okay. Putting me on the spot here.
Mm-hmm.
I would say for DQ, I'd probably give it 75. I'm pretty confident in there, but I could see a world where we end up missing on him, especially we brought in Malik Morris. We're still pushing for Isaiah Williams.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of options in that class. Ford's a tricky one. I think I'm still going 70. I'm thinking that we land him. Well, it might come back to bite me. Y'all might be
this is getting clipped.
Putting it on Twitter. Yeah, exactly. But listen, I've had my heat on Twitter already, so nothing can stop me now. We'll see what happens. And then Kent, I'm very confident in Kent. I mean, I know that it came out today that they listed him as an OT. From what my understanding of it before that was that Florida views him as a tight end. I've watched his film at tight end. It's electric. I mean, listen, he's 300 pounds, but that kid can scoot. Like, it's crazy. I kind of like him at tight end, so we'll see with that. But I think that played a big factor in his recruitment as well. I think he wants to play tight end. So I got Florida probably 85, 90 there. We'll see. You can always see Miami come back in the mix, or FSU's even in the mix, but I'm pretty confident on Kent.
Yeah, 6'6", 300 pounds. He's a big boy. Look, I mean, either way, I mean, I could spin it. We get another offensive tackle, so that'll make the people who get pissed at Rob so happy. So it's a win-win if we're able to pull that off. But look, loved. I mean, 70%, 75%. I mean, that's a good feeling. I think that's better than I feel better talking to you about it than when we saw the Fong bombs. But again, I love the noise, the buzz going around. I spoke with somebody earlier when it dropped. I was on the phone with somebody who's close to the program, and he goes, "Yeah, I spoke with so and so," and he said, I'm going to handle it. So I know it's a lot of he said, she said. I get it, but it is just this is how like you said, it's recruiting. It's wild. I love the part of it. I know people think like, oh, you look like an idiot. Like, I look like an idiot regardless. So I mean, I'm having fun looking like an idiot. But I think the big thing is that there's still a chance for it to come back around. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, I was going to say with Ford, I'm a lot more confident than I was with Trent Henderson. I'll tell you that much because, we had a little birdie on Twitter telling us what was happening with Trent Henderson. So at least now we feel, we still got a shot in there.
Okay, I do remember you saying that on the chat you didn't feel good about Ford. You're like, I don't think that's going to happen. So you stuck to your gut. So last time you're 1 for 1 when I ask you about your gut. Hopefully you go 3 for 3 tomorrow or the next 2 days.
We'll see. It's a big chance for me, so I'm excited.
Well, Dylan, man, tell them where they could find your articles, whether they get deleted or not, and how they could support you, my man.
Yes, sir. I'm on Gators on SI. You can find my articles on at Twitter, DylanOlive_UF. Obviously, Gators aside, go read Kyle's articles, go read Tyler's. Do not read Cam Parker's articles. They're not worth the time. But definitely tune in to everyone else's. And yeah, we do great work. I know they're also starting a Clemson on the side. If you guys are interested in that too, they're typing it up. I wrote a couple articles for them so far. So we got everything going on over there.
I love it, man. Keep up the good work. Keep up the love for Cam. It's fun watching you guys get after it, man. And I'm pumped for an exciting season. I appreciate you hopping on, man. Be ready to rock.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. I appreciate y'all.
Yeah, man. Go Gators. 8:30 is what it looked like from Martha Bears on 247 is what time we've got KJ4 committing. So we're going to have a massive watch party then for that one. That one's going to be a good one, boys. We're going to buckle up. I'm sure it's going to be a ruckus one, as they always are. Could be fireworks, could be tears, could be all of the above. Could be all of the above. But look, we were talking also about this young man. He's Kent's, has Kent's. The 4-star athlete, I think, is better to describe him. He's been more looked at as a tight end. We've talked about him as a tight end, being the second tight end in the class. Also because Caden Prothro, the 5-star tight end, seems to be a Georgia lean. And we kind of, I would say, we're able to overcome that because we looked at Kent's. Okay, he's the other tight end that we're going to be adding to the room. But the boy's a stud. He's big. He's got great size. And we all know we love our tight ends to block. So regardless, I think he's going to be helping out on the line. But a great addition, highly rated recruit nonetheless, that will be added to the mix. But again, the biggest one's going to be KJ Ford. That one is a must get, in my opinion. When we've lost like the Vodney Clevens and the James Johnsons and Val Sone's still in the mix, but I know he's still being crystal ball, but who knows where that's at. The Kendall Gervil felt like a must get, right? We're kind of run out of options here. Same kind of situation I feel right now with KJ Ford, given the other 3 top targets for that edge position have moved on. So a lot of things to consider. Also, keep in mind, I talked about him, Jarrell McCoy possibly switching over. Last year, we just got Jaden Woods. That was technically our only edge commit, but we know Wiggins has shifted over into that edge position as well, and I want to say he was recruited as a defensive line, more of like an interior guy. I think he's playing a little bit of both, but again, it's in high school, these guys are much bigger, right? So they get plugged into the inside, but then when they actually come play, they move around a little bit. So you see it a lot with guards and tackles, same kind of thing. That's why tacklers are so valuable, right? Because most linemen in high school are just in the middle. They don't really possess the size and the speed to go out to the outside. So when you get a guy that is a legitimate, true toe-to-toe tackle, that's why they can go get $5.1 million from Texas Tech. Okay? That's why they can do it. Now, some awesome news, some cool stuff here. We're going to break it down. Sports for Dummies, as we would like to call it around here, and break down this new SCORE Act that was announced today. It looks like they're working to pass this thing here. And a couple of days, I think Thursday or next Thursday. I can't remember exactly the date on when they're looking to pass it. But let me go ahead and read it. You guys can kind of see the graphic there, but go over what this means. First thing being, they are looking to introduce a new law called the SCORE Act to help clean up the mess in college sports, obviously around NIL, things like that. The biggest thing is, and I wrote an article today about this where Mike Gundy talked about we need to make the student athletes employees. And I was like, I understand that idea because right now they're like 1099 contractors, right? Where they can ask for the highest bidder. There's no foundation. If they looked at him as an employee, it's like, hey, here's what the school is going to be paying you. You are locked in. You as an employee, like if you're going to go out elsewhere, you can't be collecting funds from somebody else. You work for the University of Florida. You have to abide by these rules. But this bill would actually make sure they would get no employee status and players would be students, not employees, meaning no unionization or getting employee benefits. So, look, I think either way is fine as long as there's structure. So the government is essentially stepping in because the NCAA won't do their job. Brett Gruther, the Republican Kentucky representative, and Gus Blockers, I believe, the Republican representative from Florida, are leading the charge in this. The NIL agents will be regulated as another part of this. Also, NIL deals must have real business purposes. No more just handing players money for nothing. That's a big thing that we obviously made fun of Miami for with Ruiz, where that was kind of the big loophole when this whole thing started of like, yeah, I'm going to sponsor him with whatever this meme coin is. That's what his NIL deal is going to be. Like, there's no actual, representation going on. It was just, we're going to pay you $2 million for this NIL deal. And that was it. So I do like that. I think that all of these things that we went over is exactly what we've been asking for. We want the kids to get paid. We want these guys to get taken care of. That is the problem. We just want this thing to be organized so coaches can plan, right? So we can have focus on what's important. Playing football, coaching right, recruiting, developing. The money's going to get itself handled, right? Let's make this thing an even playing field so we can rock. The other big thing is this law would override state NIL laws. We talked about this when we had Ben Chase on, where states were running to get things passed, so the state would have an advantage over another state that was dragging their feet. Which is, I mean, again, there were so many variables that needed to get addressed. This would eliminate that as well too, which I love, and you see this creates a national standard. Right now, it's 50 states, 50 different rules, which would be exhausting. How do you manage that? Imagine trying to be in NCAA and say, oh, you can't do that. It's like, no, I'm sorry. I live in Idaho, so it's cool here. Okay, never mind. And you go to you couldn't do it. You couldn't do it. We've heard about the transparency disclosure where they have to report everything they get. We've heard about that new app that was rolled out. Ben Chase spoke to that about that as well, which I love that. And again, a big part of this, protection for athletes from bad deals. This doesn't get talked about enough. We hear about all the crazy deals. We hear about all the $5.1 million deals, but think about the kid from FSU, right, who kind of was lied to that went to Arkansas. I can't remember the exact story, but there's a lot of bad, ugly stories out there because of the bad agents that are working, because it is Wild Wild West. There's the middleman's taking advantage of so many players, so many probably organizations, and there's no repercussion for it because of how things are laid out. In a way, the Jane Rosada situation was very ugly. Somebody said this, somebody tried to do that, someone tried to renegotiate this kind of contract, and at the end, the kid's the one that gets burned, right? And I understand that, Florida, there's a bad taste with Florida and people try to blame who and whatnot, but there's a lot of, I would say, nastiness that was moved around with the lawyer part of this. So I think this is fantastic. This was great news. The other part of this, which I absolutely loved, and I tried to make sure I understood it because I read it like 9 times. So I'm like, this seems too good to be true, is that you only get one time to transfer, which is like, oh, hallelujah. I mean, I'm all for transferring, but if you could hop from school to school, from week to week, come on. And from how I read it, said roll back to the current guys, meaning if you've already transferred, I think you'd be canceled out. Don't take my word on that one. I'm trying to, get more on that. But we were able to confirm that you do only get one transfer with this new law put into place, which, again, this is everything we've been clamoring for in one bill, act, however you want to call it. And right now, it's been crystal balled, if you will, that they feel good that it will be passing. And again, this is, some people, I understand, you got people that love to be mad and be frustrated about the NIL part of it, right? And kids getting paid. That is what it is. Like you have to move past that part. That part's never frustrated me. The part that's frustrated me is just the inconsistency of it, and it just becoming a major pay to play. Like it's very Dodger-esque and Yankees-like, which I hate. Like that part ruins the game, in my opinion. I think you need to build through recruiting in a natural, organic way, and then if you're able to, money ball certain situations, you can go after certain guys and do those things. Like that's what makes it fun. You get a playing field, you get rules in place. Imagine playing Monopoly with no rules in place. It would suck. Rules make things fun. It constrains the game to make you think outside the box, be creative, be lucrative, if you will, with your money, and find a way to win with amongst the rules. If I could just go and play my son, I would bury him and make my own rules up as I went. That's in a way what's been happening. You can't do that. Rules are good. Rules are good. I'm a big rule breaker. I think rules should be broken too. Don't get it twisted. All right. There's a sweet spot for that. Kids listening, sweet spot for that. Okay. Sometimes there could be some dumb rules too. You can always change them. But we've had a lackluster of rules in this household, and it's time we buckle down the hammer. Time for Daddy to lock it up and lock it tight. So great stuff. Let us know your thoughts down in the comment section below on this. How you guys are feeling about it? We'll look at the chat here in just a minute. A couple super chats and a few things. Smooth Bama says, what did he say? He says he loves this channel. I don't blame him. I like High Top only Florida channel I listen to. I appreciate it, Smooth. I mean, it's the best in the business, baby. You know what we're saying? We do what we can right here. We got a super chat from Blue Orange Blood. $5 says, I think this is exactly what's needed. It's about time. Go Gators and F Smooth and Bama. Keep it killing it. High top. Smash the like and subscribe, people. Yeah, let's keep the train rolling, boys. Listen, we're talking all things college football. I mean, we're really trying to grow this channel as big as it could possibly be. And I don't know how big that is, but it feels like it could be pretty big if we keep on rolling, keep on talking about it. But look, man, we got some big commits coming over the next couple of days. And I was talking with Stephen Harris about it. And I said, listen, with some of the moves we're talking about and possibly getting these guys, I'm excited about it. It's like a limited edition car. And right now, if we miss out on some of these guys, it's limited edition. We got everything we want in the front, all the gadgets and buttons, but we're missing cup holders and air conditioning in the back seat. And Bailey, I need cup holders and air conditioning in the back seat. I live in Florida. Okay, so don't hold back on me. Give me the whole kit and caboodle here. Listen, great car, runs well, great gas mileage. Like I said, looks awesome. Limited. We're talking XLT package. Okay, I want the King Ranch, Billy. Okay, I want it all in the back. I want leather stitching. I want W stitch in the back of the headset for no reason at all. We deserve it. We go get it. Go get the paycheck. Go get the checkbook out. And let's get it done. All right. Let's lock it in. But great show. Huge shout out to Dylan Olive. Fantastic conversation as always. And all it does is excites me for what tomorrow is going to be. I thought we were going to be playing some college football tomorrow night, but it looks like we're going to be doing a watch party instead. Maybe we'll do college football after the fact. That will be tentative. I still have to get the game. I haven't even got the game yet. Dad life is brutal, okay? Takes a toll on you. Look at me. I look like I'm 90 years old, bro. From day to day, I just keep getting older and older. But I love y'all. Good seeing y'all on this beautiful Thursday afternoon. We'll see you tomorrow. We'll see you on Saturday for another commitment. We're not going anywhere, and of course, we have our show, and then we're right back into it. We're rocking and rolling. Next week's SEC Media Week, we are going to be hot tamales for the next couple of days. We're not going anywhere. So if you want to know anything and everything about college football, it's going to be right here, boys and girls. All right? I love y'all. Y'all be good. Be safe. Till next time. Peace and love, baby.